Here we go. Happy Halloween. It's Dr. Rocco here. In case you can't see his tablets and his pens and his stethoscope, and firefighter John. First off, apologies. Was actually wouldn't be able to tell here, but was very ill. Adults get hand, foot, and mouth disease, especially from the little germ kids that are germ factories. Anyway, so that's why we haven't any shows. But I'm feeling okay enough today towards the end of the medication, and we'll get you all caught up on every important chart that's meant something in the past week. Get you all caught up, and hopefully have a show tomorrow, and then hopefully it's time for trick or treating. Again, Dr. Rocco, he hates wearing clothes, so take Rocco, look over here. Say That's what the patients do. All right, so let's take a look. Also, just to acknowledge this. Wow, what a collapse. Yeah, I don't know what else to say. Congratulations to the Dodgers. Money well spent. Not a great series, but baseball's over. This is a firefighter hat. All right, so here we go. Let's share a screen here, and we'll get you all caught up on what happened today. It was a spooky, scary day, or what? Let's take a look-see. So growth stocks plunge 3%, while volatility haunts utilities and oil rise from the shadows. Nice job here with the picture. I like this one. I wrote most of that story there. But here are, the Scream guy looking at his portfolio. A lot of red today and spiders and stuff from the crypt. So love it. Love Halloween. Very fun. Have fun today and stuff, wherever you are. We'll take a look at all the stuff today, and we'll get you caught up on what happened this week. It's been volatility. It's been nat gas dropping and solar rising. Let's see. There's presidential implications and all that. But let's take a look first at the charts. We'll pull up the intraday. Rocco hates clothes. He's huffing and puffing big time. Let me share the screen. Let me see if I remember how to do this. Uno momento, por favor. So SPY basically is pulling back to where we estimated it, where we talked about it earlier. It's basically towards 21-day exponential move average. I never really thought it was going to collapse from here. We said the accumulation phase ended on October 22nd when we closed at 583 stock. And I said by November 5th, we should move towards 575. And if things get ugly, towards 565. And we're right towards the uglier part of that. But we still have another week to shake out. I was actually just looking at my buy list because it's getting very close. What do I have here with buy? Buy Dell, buy more mega cap, and buy United Airlines is what I have here. I'm not in those areas, and those charts look great. And I even like some of the valuations in terms of United and Dell on the upside. So even from a fundamental backdrop, I like those entry points. And I think you're going to get a flush, probably 1%, potentially more downside. We'll take a look at the chart between here and election time, and then you're going to have a nice 3 to 4% move higher. So let's take a look. That's what I think is shaping up today. Today, weak price action all day. Here is the opening bar. Massive sell on the close here. Good size, above average volume today trading as well. Ugly bar trading on the close. Probably not done. Spooky, scary. Boys becoming men, men becoming wolves. That's from 30 Rock. Watch that tonight. That's wonderful. I have to. Love you, Tracy Morgan. We're getting a stock here. I'll take a look. What do you think about Vista Energy? I bought a month ago. Nice. All right, I'll take a look at the end. You're going to have to wait for the end. Nice teaser, though, Gaston. So 571 today was VWAP. We got the closest we got was at 3:30 p.m. Ironically, whoosh, we closed right towards the lows of the day. So ugly price action there. Tomorrow is Friday. As I zoom out here, like I said, so I thought we were going to pull back to uglier point around 565. And again, not to make things dramatic, those were levels only first discovered after Labor Day in September. So the pullbacks you're getting, as I've been saying for this entire month, has not been drastic. So you want to be a buyer. This train, this is how this is going. In economic development, we're basically accruing 2% a month. Do you want to just watch the train go by, or do you want to get on this stop or figure it out yourself in a corn husking field and stuff? So this is the way we're moving along. You can get involved or not. There's different pieces that you can play it, but it's honestly it's just pretty simple in that regard until further notice. So the pullback here will take you to about 565. I think I'm looking personally, like I said in my buy book here, if I get entries under 575, I'm going to be more aggressive. I like that entry point, and the target is still 590 by right around Thanksgiving week. So that's a nice 3 to 4% move. Get ready. You're going to have quite a bit, I think, barring some civil war, God forbid, or something unforeseen event occurrence, like potentially like vote denial or something like that. And it takes a week, and there's a lot of uncertainty, which the market, lows more than anything. That's what you have to look out for. We'll take a look at the charts that quantify this as well and visualize it. But other than that, we're going to go higher because once that, hopefully that acceptance speech comes on Tuesday or Wednesday, and there's going to be, I think you're going to see like VIX down 10% that day. But we'll see. Who knows? Market doesn't do anything I tell. But anyway, things look normal here. Like I said, my distribution end date was November 5th, which is next week. So I still see a little bit of downside trading, but pretty much with a low of here. I don't think we go below 565. All right, so let's get into the charts that really moved today. And why. So growth stocks, a lot of single stocks. There's earnings season. Apple's reporting very soon, so I know a lot of people are looking at that. We'll take a look at the end of the show. But growth was a big mover today. I'm not going to get into the single stocks of what's happening, but we'll take a look at the big things that moved. First up, there wasn't a bunch of areas that moved, but volatility was one of them. I've been saying the volatility on this go round was going to peak at around 58. Right here, we close at right around 58. I still have another week or so. I actually think this is possibly potentially going to go towards, 60 as we get a little bit more selling, as it doesn't look like we're done with that pattern today. 60 in the VXX would actually be, not really giving warm fuzzies. That would be highs all the way to Japan crash week in August, believe it or not. So we'll say that it's pretty lofty, but those would be higher than the lows we had, during the geopolitical scares with the missiles in October and also in early September. So we'll see, but it does look like the VIX has a little bit more to go. We will see. It's up 7.5% today, a big mover. There was not obviously a lot up today. Utilities was another area. This has been getting dumped today. It was up 1.1%. Is there a trade here right now? This has been one of the absolute fire sectors in the entire market. I still think it's in distribution mode. This group, I'd give this about 2 weeks or so as it moves towards 78. Let it flush out for a little bit. And to be honest, that probably actually will be something I buy into. The market, you want to be a student, but also you want to just make money. And it's better to make money than just being right. And a lot of different market pieces are participating. Never thought I'd want to buy utilities and different areas of the market, but it's setting up banks, other things you wouldn't think of, potentially paid in a high flying market. With NVIDIA, for example, 2 days ago, all-time highs, but you have to have all different pieces. And utilities look good after this pullback to about 78. I like a short-term target of 80, and then a longer-term, target towards 83, towards new 52-week highs there. So I like this one. It's a slower mover, though. Up today, 70 bips. That was, bigger earlier. It was up 1% or so earlier in the day. And then oil, the only other mover, up 2.4%. A nice move for oil. It's been absolutely, trading like crapola. Let's take a look. I think it's now been treated badly enough. I think the lows were here on the 29th, 2 days ago, when it bombed around 69. As you see here, it's going to try and make a move towards that 200-day, very slightly rising 200-day moving average. I think it's going to hit that wall right around 75. I think it's going to take maybe about 2 weeks to do this and then try to get towards 77. I don't think it has quite that much juice, but maybe if you get a lot of movement higher in the market, it participates. There's other better areas. A nice move today, but this has been taken out back from October 7th, from when it peaked on those geopolitical fears at $79. And then just a very short time out later, it's $69. Yeah, I think it's the 75, and that's about it for oil. Okay, the losers, you'd actually be surprised. The areas that got hammered today were very focused. It was really just growth and ARK stock. So that's pretty much all the charts I'm going to look at in that regard, and we'll look at other important ones. So growth, probably pretty synonymous with the, Qs in a fashion, how it was constructed. This is a lot of the growth ETFs, so IWF and so on and so forth. So we'll take a look at this one. It's the most liquid, moved a lot today, down 2.9%. The VUG, I think this has potentially a little bit more selling downside to go, with a floor of 377, so about $5 or so more. So not as bad as today, but I think it might have a little bit more pain. And then I think you're going to get a mean reversion pop towards about 390. And like I said, you're going to look for an entry to buy the market. I think you're going to get your opportunity. Maybe it's the day before, or maybe it's the day of the election, maybe the day after. Don't know. Obviously, it's when going to be volatility when it's least, is when it's going to be realized. But before, I'm saying when it's going to be volatility at its highest is when you're going to want to buy that mark. I think you're going to get a nice opportunity where you're going to get an upper close underneath some lower bands potentially next week in some of these growth markets, let's say. That'll be your opportunity. Either way, I'd rather stay long. I'm looking to get longer. So this was VUG. Like I said, that's my target. And then ultimately 400, which is a nice move, which would be, further momentum for this. So still a great group to be a part of. And then the ARK stocks down pretty hard today, down a robust 4.9%. We were just talking about this in our video from last week on Friday. So the ARK stocks, I was waiting for this to reach a crescendo, as it were. It's almost like the McDonald's arches here, almost like a perfect, yo-yo bounce. At the exact same height, these arches. So the floor was 45.5. It got to 48. Down again, 45, 48, and then down again. So you can do a lot of, if you sell options, you can obviously sell a lot of different spreads and get paid on that, especially this in a high vol asset. But understand that as soon as that blue band expands and you get some volatility expansion, you'll get paid more. But if you're wrong, that you're going to, your risk is not zero. Obviously, it is infinity. Anyway, so I wanted to see this hit about 49. That was my upper target. It essentially got there on the 28th. It got to 48.90. That's good enough for me. And pretty much now after this, I think this will be more on the distribution side towards 44.5 or so. Probably rocky all along, but towards 44.5, I do think it'll buck. And I've talked about this a couple of weeks ago. I think it made a good run, kind of similar like a microcosm of what you're seeing with these yo-yos. I think it's going to go underneath that 200-day moving average and yo-yo underneath. So we'll see. But interesting chart looking here. It's actually going lower, the 200-day moving average here. It's actually, I'm sorry, take that back. It was flat, and then now it's going up a penny. Sorry. So it's barely going up. Pretty much flat at 46.05. It went below that level today on its close. All right. Top 3 gainers in the past 5 days, no repeats in charts. So the best gainer in the past week is Volatility, up 7.5%. Wow, it's on fire, folks. Most of it was today, but that's the best long in the market. Next, TAN. So a lot of people had said before this was obviously tied with Harris's chances, and you do DJT for the Trump chances. So solar today, but these companies in the individual space are absolutely in the crapper. So either way, they're using it as a tether like Kamala trade. Regardless, it has been an interesting trade. One of the weakest areas in the market, solar. Just nobody wants these companies. Thought it was going to be in accumulation mode for a while. I still like it to the upside. I think this goes towards 41, even maybe 42, as it makes a run towards its 42, as it makes a run towards its 200-day moving average. I think I'm not really starving for longs right now, but this actually doesn't look terrible if you want a counter trade. I think it has a little bit more to go. It's a little bit late now, but I do think it heads towards 42 over the next week or so. Nice action here. We'll see. It does have a little bit of resistance here at 40, right where it is. I think it gets over it, though. It looks like it potentially has the momentum. All right. And then Bitcoin, we got to talk about. BITO up 3% in the past 5 days. It stalled. It got within $250 of new all-time highs that it did in March, and then it got to Kembe. Rest in peace to Kembe. So what happens now for BITO? I didn't think the highs were going to come then. I think that was a great run. I think that did a great job from what it did off of like 59K to 60 or all the way to 72K. And so for here specifically, this asset, I think this is going to make a move lower towards about 19.15 or so. So about 70 cents lower. So about 3% or so from here, at least from there over the next 2 to 3 weeks, and potentially as low as $18. But I don't think that's going to happen. All right. Like I said, overall for the market, I think we have about another week or so of spooky, scary potential, but in terms of price level support, right around here, 1% more lower for the S&P. All right, gold miners. This is not. Oh, I'm sorry. All right, so top 3 losers of the past 5 days. Spooky, scary. Nat gas down 11.5% in the past 5 days for an average of 2% or so a day, down almost 4% today. We said you almost want to consider getting long now. Let's see. So this chart is messy. This thing broke down. It looked like it potentially was. Now, I stay away from this. I'd rather be short than long, but my floor is right around 13. So this can pop at any point to me around 13 even. Again, the 52-week low, surprisingly, is 1257. It is very close to that, 1% away. You can't say that about many assets. So it looks like it's in the cards. I'm not going to try to hold this one up. I don't think nat gas. This is the end. The beginning of the reversal for nat gas. 200-day moving average is still looking heavy, slicing. That, by the way, was one of 4 times best sell opportunities this entire year when you got early October. See if you get it again. I don't think it happens that soon. Maybe you get it like in a couple of months. But if nat gas does it, it's an easy sell. If there was such a thing, right? All right. Next. biggest loser. And this one hurts. I'm long GDX. This group has fell out of favor. GDX down 4% over the past 5 days, down almost 3% today alone. What now? I still don't like the group. I think this is going to be on distribution mode towards 39 bucks even. So a little bit more downside. I think these October lows hold, but I do think this group remains out of favor for about another week to 2 weeks or so. So a little bit more pain on that to come. And then a very important chart, SOXX. You can use this for the SMH, obviously heavily correlated with Qs and like SMH and the chart, the growth chart we looked at earlier. So what do we see for this group? So I like this group for specifically the semiconductors. This has been a bit oversold. I think this should bounce towards 229. Very rare. Again, this specific group, Supermicro, has crazy things going on. They're basically the Enron of the 21st century, and Ernst & Young resigned. They said these numbers are crazy. In summary, so what's happened to the group, and they're also, I think NVIDIA's third biggest customer. So anyway, so you have a couple opportunities here starting in August, couple of weaknesses, chinks in the armor, where this group is closed under 200-day moving averages, does it for a week or so, and then recovers, week or so, then recovers. I think this looks like that week or so, and then recovers. We'll take a look at Apple at the end, but the 200-day moving average still looks good. The highs are on 7-11 back here. I think it'll, like I said, I think it'll trapeze over that 200-day moving average is 225. I think it'll get to 229. I still like the target for about 2 weeks from here to get to about 245. So you can get some volatility expansion, and love will get back into favor of the group, and you'll start putting in new, 3-month highs. So I like this group. There's other better areas, but this is definitely a strong group. I'm long NVIDIA, personal disclosure. All right, top your absolute best trades of the past 5 days. Short nat gas down 11.5%. Long volatility 7.5%. So immediately trades that come to mind is, if you're long nat gas UNG puts, you would have crushed it. And then long tan, if you would have been long tan calls, you would have crushed it. All right, let me look at your question here. What do you think of Vista? That's the ticker, VISTA. Let me take a look. Vista Energy, VIST, I'm guessing is what you're saying. This is a company out of Latin America, $5 billion market cap, $1.5 billion revenue. It's obviously in oil and gas, there is definitely better spaces to be in. I want to say that first and foremost. Oh, I should probably help if I put the chart up. I have it on the other screen. Apologies. All right. So rarely, you can't say this about many firms, especially in this space. This put a new 52-week highs on October 25th. That's very impressive. This is finding a larger ripple in the water, just being in the energy space. It's not getting a ton of money. Overall, though, this is really bucking the trend. So you're asking a lot of it, and it's doing it. So, yeah, I would allocate towards this. This is an absolute, fire name. You found a good one here. I would be careful. It looks like some of the industry relative strength, like I said, oil, gas, and consumables, not so good. In Latin America, depending on where it is, Argentina and Mexico. So Mexico's been one of the worst spots to be in. EWW you can look at since their June election, but this looks absolutely great. As I zoom out, 5 months you bought a month ago. Oh, it should have not went up there that much. But first, yeah, this is from $5 here to 50, a 10 bagger in 5 years. No complaints there. You bought it a month ago, so we'll say September 30th. You purchased this thing, let's say, with a close of about $46. And let's say you're up less than 10%. Yeah, I would stay long. There's other better areas just because of this is an oil and gas, like I said. I love anything more so related to Bitcoin, anything semiconductors, home builders, depending on where it is. All right. Happy Halloween, everybody. We got to go trick-or-treating and such. Oh, Dr. Rocco, come here. And we will do an end of week recap next week. So, Rocco, does the market have a boo-boo? He says no. You're going to want to buy this very soon. Happy Halloween to you, Caleb, Gaston. Thanks for the tickers. And we will see you mañana. I really think I look like Sergeant Peppers and not really like a firefighter, but I don't know. My kid picked my costumes. Bye.